Good evening, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 302 of Turning Point Toastmasters. I'm Anshuman Mishra and I'm going to be a Sergeant at Arms for the club today. The mission of a Toastmasters club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. To ensure this, please follow certain ground rules. Please ensure that all cell phones are on silent or switched off mode. You have 10 seconds to check. Please speak responsibly about religion, sex, or politics in your speeches. Use the feature of raising a hand, applause, and thumbs up when needed. Don't use Zoom messaging in between the speeches until it's required. Until not required, please put yourself on mute during the meeting. If you're playing a role, no need to check whether you're audible or not. One of us will let you know whether sound is coming or not coming. Also, please ensure that all the role players have added role name as prefix and real name as suffix to the username of the meeting. You have 10 seconds to check and implement if not already done so. For example, I put in Sergeant Arms Anshuman Mishra. All right, moving on. Now I'd like to hand over the stage to someone who's been a rock, a cornerstone for Turning Point Toastmasters, someone who has kept Turning Point Toastmasters and the Toastmasters community running so smoothly for so long a time. Someone who's mentored to a lot of people, someone who focuses on details, and even a small detail on a minute kind of work doesn't go unnoticed through his glaring eyes. So if he had to put in his resume, and if hypothetically, though he's an entrepreneur, if hypothetically he had to give a job interview, one thing for sure the interviewer can't question him on is attention to detail. So for me, he exemplifies attention to details. I like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer of the evening, the distinguished Toastmaster, DTM Anand Kartyani. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you so much, Anshuman Mishra. By your job description, I should be an ideal candidate for a prison observation program or somewhere, keeping attention on the details every day. Yeah, you just created that perception for us. By the way, today's theme is around perceptions. So I sense that Anshuman did it deliberately. He was indeed praising me and not pulling my leg. But that completely is all right within us because that's the kind of club we have. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another meeting of Turning Point Toastmasters, where we practice not just public speaking, not just leadership, but also camaraderie and a sense of bonding. Because of this sense of bonding, I think we have 5 new additions to our club very recently. So let's have a round of applause for our formal members, Neeraj Singla, Ankit Agarwal, Meghna, Prerna, and Utkarsh. Today being part of second day of Navratra, and today also being a kind of season when it's unprecedented rains around Delhi NCR, where we are theoretically based out of. Some of us are in nearby cities, in Karnal, Hisar, Faridabad. I belong to Jaipur and Alwar in Rajasthan. Madhav and Gunjan are also joining us from there. Some of us are from Himachal, like Surjeet. Some of us are from cities in Haryana and Punjab. Some of us are from the Noida side, Anshuman, recently. Congratulations once again officially. So he became a house owner very recently. So congratulations over there. We also have our esteemed area director, Miss Urfia Abdul, joining us today. Congratulations, Madam Area Director. Long time. How are you? Hope you are doing well.
Yes, I was unwell in the last couple of weeks, but glad to be here.
Today we will add more health to your health bar. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have a few guests joining us today. Of course, I will not call him a guest. Akib Javed, our friend from the city of Destiny, Vizag, and a proud employee of ACT FiberNet. He never forgets to mention that, so I'm doing it on his behalf this time. We also have Praveen Bidalia. Praveen, believe we are meeting for the first time, at least you and me. Is it your first time to the club?
No, it's the second time.
Perfect. So looking forward to see you have a terrific time as well. We have a short group of people today, but I think this way we will have more speaking opportunity in table topics, because today we have some amazing table topics by our president. Last week I was amazed by Surjit, another area director that we have for area I2 over here, his table topics in Spearhead meeting this Saturday, last Saturday. I was literally blown away by the kind of table topics he had. So I think these two clubs, our own Turning Point, and in case you have some time on the Saturdays, so Saturday 10 a.m. onwards, Spearhead as well, we have a practice platform for all of us. Now, we have a few guests who are taking up roles from our fellow clubs like Ashima and a few others. So we thank you for your services, friends. How and what is your expectation over this weekend? I mean, it's financial year end. It's probably, I think, okay, second last meeting, technically. We have one more meeting in this financial year. And also renewals which are happening. So a kind of subtle message to renew as well. Turning Point as of now has 17 members on its roster, out of which 11 have renewed till September end. So another round of applause to that. This is where we renew our commitment to public speaking, leadership, and self-growth. Talking about self-growth. We have someone who has recently joined us within last 6 months, has risen to a level where she is going to represent us at next level now. I think the division level is awaiting Srishti Mehrotra. So this is a speaker who is passionate about designs, psychology, and she works at a profile where designing and design thinking is a part and parcel of her job. Just today, I conducted a few sessions on design thinking for a corporate. And all I could think at that moment was that how much I have learned about it in this very club. And who better to teach us all today around perceptions, issues around psychologies, issues around design thinking, issues about feminism and women empowerment than this fantastic champion speaker herself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's spotlight Srishti Mehrotra, who will take us through a journey today, a journey of mystery around perception. Srishti, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well today. Thank you so much, Anant, for this very generous and kind introduction. But before I begin, I'm going to start with a poll. Is there anyone who's never traveled in public transport, metro, bus, railways, anything? Everybody's traveled, right? So who all, wait, let me just change my view to gallery so I can see everybody. Okay, so is there, who all have had a good experience in public transport? Like mostly good experiences. Okay, who all have had bad experiences with public transport? Also me. Okay, I'll ask about e-commerce now. Who all have had good experience with e-commerce? Basically buying something online. Who all have had bad experience with e-commerce? Okay. Why am I asking you this question, right? See, usually when people have a good experience of things, they develop a good opinion of them. And a bad experience leads to a bad opinion. This is fairly common sense, right? But what if I tell you that when you had that bad experience or the good experience, that thing that you were experiencing wasn't actually good or bad, right? So if you're talking about a particular train ride where you had a bad experience, or a parcel that was delivered, that event itself was not an experience. Experience is what happened inside your head while an event happened outside of you or around you. Is there anybody who didn't wrap their head around that? Okay. So Urfia, other than that, everybody else got it? Okay. That's okay. But I'll still explain it anyway because I wrote it. So what happens is that whenever you experience an event, so there is a stimulus, something happens in the world, and information about whatever has happened, which is what I'm going to refer to as a stimulus, enters your brain from multiple channels, like multiple senses. And then it interacts with all of the information that's already in your head. And the resultant is called experience. So that the experience that you have is your brain's response to whatever event has occurred. So basically, glass breaks, parcel is late, train is overcrowded. That itself is not the experience. Experience is how you feel about it. So that, for example, you get into a really crowded metro train at rush hour, and it's too crowded, you can't move here or there, and then you turn your head because another person's face is in your face, so you turn your face, and now your face is in someone's armpit, and then you smell that armpit and you conclude that this is a bad experience. Your experience is not something that comes from the armpit, that is just the smell. Your experience comes from your idea of how traveling in the metro should be, which is your expectation was no smelling armpit, but then you smelled armpit and therefore you had a bad experience. And this is the same reason why different people can have different responses to the same stimulus, because your imagination of how that event is going to be determines how your experience is going to be. So people with different expectations will have different experiences based on the same stimulus. That's why that's why there can be people who love mangoes, and there can be people who hate mangoes. And people can have different perception about different things, like sushi, which is something we're going to talk about more. But first, I'm going to introduce the format of this meeting. A typical Toastmasters meeting comprises of 3 sections, and together they cover 3 themes of preparation, spontaneity, and reflection. We have the prepared speech section where speakers prepare their speeches in advance and then deliver them. Then we have the table topics where guests and Toastmasters who have not got a chance to speak are invited on stage to deliver an impromptu speech. Lastly, we have the evaluation section where everyone gets a chance to improve. Today, the evaluation section is headed by distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani, who we've heard a lot about already from Anshuman. So I will pass on the virtual stage to him.
Thank you so much, Srishti. That's a respite from talking or thinking or visualizing around armpits, isn't it? Perceptions, they cause a fracture in reality. Just a second. At times when we speak, our perception about ourselves might be that we are speaking very fluently and very impressively. Just a second. Yes. Well, this is the, okay, this is my household right now. A Warner Sena has entered, so I will have to just excuse myself in this room. Yeah. So our perception when we are speaking might be that we are speaking so suave, so fluent, so impressive, but we need a reality check. We need to see from the listener's point of view or the audience point of view. So thankfully, we have this section called feedback session or evaluation session, where a battery of evaluators, role players, will dedicatedly watch it and then tell it for us. There is a prepared speaker, so there is also a prepared speech evaluator. Likewise, for all of us who will get some stage time, we have a timer, a grammarian, and an accounter. To talk around timer today, our timer and accounter, to be honest, they are the first time role players. They are their spouses, as well as they are taking their first step towards this journey of leadership for the very first time. So on a round of applause, first of all, for both of them, let me share what timer Neeraj will do today. And Neeraj, you can show the timing signals at my prompt. So Neeraj will show the green, yellow, and red, the traffic lights to all who are speaking today through screen sharing. Please note. The green, whenever we see, it means that for that particular section, we have spoken for minimum qualification time. Yellow, in that particular sense, will mean that now is the time to start wrapping up, and red means stop. Take 30 more seconds at max, but stop. Because beyond that, we will lose the chance to be in the audience voting as a sense of encouragement for today. Thank you, Neeraj. Specific timing, of course, will be announced in sections as well, but prepared speech usually, unless specified otherwise, is 5 to 7 minutes. So 5, 6, 7, we see a green, yellow, and red signal. For table topics, it is 1 to 2 minutes where the audience and guests will get to speak. So 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes, we'll see this green, yellow, and red signal. The rule of thumb is when you are speaking in table topics or impromptu speaking, minimum see the green card. And try to wrap up within 30 seconds of seeing the red card. That's all. The evaluator will get similarly 2 to 3 minutes, so 2, 2.5, and 3 minutes. We'll see green, yellow, and red respectively. Our counter, on the other hand, which is being played by Ankit today, takes care of our fluency. How many speed bumps we had in our fluency while we were speaking. It can be in the form of as, well, so, but, unnecessarily long pause, unstrategical short pauses, just as a symbol or indicating that we are having a breakage in our thought process. To help us cover these gaps, our counter will present us a report on higher tendency on any particular type of crutch word or sound today. He will have a detailed report, but I encourage him to give us at least 1 or 2 tangible ideas to take away, work on them in every meeting. Grammarian, on the other hand, is being played by an experienced Toastmaster today, the area director. She will, of course, take care of the noting down the good usages, phrases, expressions, idioms, proverbs, etc. Word plays, puns, alliterations, the literary devices, everything, that whatever she can, so that by just a recall, we can all learn once again from it. If not in the heat of the moment, then at least as a report. She will also highlight a few specific examples, not all. She will explain it in the manner that this is how it could have been done. In addition to that, she will also give us a word of the day and challenge us to use it when we speak on the stage today. So to explain the word of the day, handing over the control to Urfia Abdul, the grammarian of the day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as a grammarian, I have chosen the word of the day to be effusive. It was a unique word that was used 67 times in the New York Times last year. And I thought it's a good word that we can take in our vocabulary. It means showing or expressing gratitude in an unrestrained or a heartfelt manner. Some examples could be our host gave us an effusive welcome, or he was effusive in his praise for the general. So I have pasted the same with the definition and the examples in the chat box, and I encourage all of you to use it as much as we can while we're speaking. All the best.
Thank you so much, Urfia, for the effusive elaboration of the word of the day. Thank you so much for that. I request you to keep reminding us through chat, maybe in a small manner, like just typing the word alone at least, or the whole prompt. That will be a good service on your part. I also welcome at this point Deepesh Kumar, who has just joined us in between. So welcome, Deepesh. I just explained what the grammarian does and overall general evaluation team does. To tie it up all together, everyone who plays a part today, even they will get feedback, and that will be simply my role to provide feedback to the ones who are providing feedback. That being said, I will be called upon by Madam Toastmaster of the Day towards the final section of the meeting. Till then, have a glitch-free meeting. Over to you, Srishti Mehrotra.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Anand. I'm going to tell you all a little bit more about how to change your experience of things. But first, let's have the first speaker on board. Our only speaker for today is Ashima, who will be presenting her level 1 from the dynamic leadership pathway. Before I call her on stage, I will invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Surjit Laknotra, to read out the objectives.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and listening guests. Today, Ashima is delivering a speech from level 1, speech 2, understanding your leadership style. The purpose of the project for the member is to identify his or her primary leadership style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss styles in general. So time for speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck, Ashima. Over to you, Toastmaster. You are on mute, Srishti.
Sorry about that. Toastmaster Ashima, the art of listening. The art of listening, Toastmaster Ashima.
Am I audible and visible?
The top of your head is being cut off, Ashima. If you could just turn your screen a little bit back.
Is it fine now?
Okay, that's great.
Okay. Start.
Okay. Toastmaster Ashima, the art of listening. The art of listening, Toastmaster Ashima.
Hey, are you listening me? Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So, I used to think that I am the excellent listener until I met my life partner. On a one fine day, we were sitting on the sofa and he was telling me about his long day. And I was listening to his story and saying, and inside my mind, I was thinking about the pizza. So, of course, the things didn't go well. Then I realized what is the meaning of the active listening. Active listening means to paying attention to the person whom you are talking with. So, have you ever been into the conversation where you are nodding and your mind is somewhere else? So, my boss called me and she told me, we are going to an important meeting. I said, okay, ma'am, I'm ready. So, she took me there and we were sitting. And she was speaking, a lot. And I was nodding to everything she was saying. But so again, my mind is listening. My mind is planning to go on a vacation. Everything was going well. I was looking very intelligent. Suddenly, my boss asked me a question. And oh my God, I was just realized what has happened. And I don't know how to respond now. Where my mind is playing with snow on the hills. Oh God, that was a terrible situation. And let's face it, we are surrounded by distractions. Like, since in today's world, we have our phones. One notification, second notification, and then this emails, and then this social media. So we all are bombarded with the notifications. And once we try to control the situation, and again, we keep our phone aside and try to concentrate, and another notification pops up. Then we got distracted. I was sitting with my colleague in the office, and she used to interrupt our conversation to check the phone. And I'm like, I really wanted to tell her that, do you want to really surgically attach to your phone? Of course, I didn't say it because I don't want to be rude. So it's like there are many distractions around us which engage us in situations, and we forget about active listening. So what active listening means is to paying an attention, to listen attentively, and to be with a person who is saying something. However, if you want to become an effective communicator, you need to practice mindfulness of distraction and active listening. So this active listening is like a ninja, where you are, instead of throwing a shuriken, you are throwing feedbacks and questions. If you really wanted to become an effective communicator, you need to practice mindfulness, practice active listening, and learn to be present in the situation. Now, from this, I realized that sometimes it becomes really difficult to become a good listener, especially with a person who has different viewpoints and different opinions. It's like being in a situation where there's a debate is going on and trying to understand the concepts, viewpoints, and opinions of the other. But trust me, this really helps. When you try to understand the viewpoints of other person, it takes all your empathy, open mind, and your presence. So if you want to make a good relationship with a person, or if you want to achieve a common goals, you need to understand the perspective and opinions of other and try to align your thoughts towards it. I'm not saying that you need to follow them, but at least try to understand their opinions. So now let's talk about something else that's called potential solutions. We as human beings are in a habit of jumping to a solutions and giving advice. So my friend called me in the evening and she told me, Ashima, I have some issue. Can you help me with it? I'm like, yes, Kanika, please come over to my place. I'm going to help you with the solution. Then she said, okay. So she come to my house and she started narrating her story, her problem. And being a human being, I was like, okay, I'm listening to you. I'm nodding my head. And that time she doesn't need a life coach. She need a person who can listen to her, who needs to be present in such situation where she has lot in her mind, lot in her heart to speak about. So for solving this thing, potential solutions, you need to learn and practice active listening. That helps you to understand the situation better. So listening is a superpower that can make any relationship or that can break any relationship. So let's all put on the capes of superhero and practice active listening, mindfulness, and listening to the potential solutions. And who knows, while going through the journey, you may find your hidden superpowers, or you may somewhere try to listen to understand the feeling of your neighbor's talk. So thank you so much, and remember, always listen like a superhero. even if you don't have any superpower to fly or any power where you can, shoot lasers from your eyes, but try to listen like a superhero. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashima, for sharing something that is so essential, especially as we work remotely, as we meet remotely over Zoom. And what we'll do is we'll have a minute of silence so that everyone can send their feedback to Toastmaster Ashima. You can do that in the chat. Timer, could you please indicate when 1 minute is over?
One minute is over, Toastmaster Shruti.
Okay, thank you so much, Neeraj. Okay, so like I said, like I promised, we spoke about how different people can have different experiences from the same event or from the same stimulus. So, can you start enjoying something you hate? Can you at least become effusive towards it? How can you change your experience of things? Like I said earlier, every experience has two parts. One, the stimulus, event, or whatever has happened, and what is stored inside your brain. It's really hard to change external events because we don't have control over that, but we can change the information here inside our head. And there are two ways to do this. The first is deceptively simple. Expose yourself to different things and new thought processes. Try out many different things. Now, suppose you don't enjoy sushi. You could actually start by learning about the right way and context to eat it, learn about its history and culture, and do some research to understand what the whole fuss is about. And maybe you might start developing an appreciation for it. You may still not consider it your favorite food, but maybe you won't hate it for starters. If you are not confident in public speaking, you could try to expose yourself. Sorry about that. There is biryani being made at home. Okay. If you are not confident in public speaking, you could try to expose yourself to more opportunities in it, like we do in table topics, giving Toastmasters and guests to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a completely new or different topic that is given to them on the spot. I'll get to the second part of becoming, changing your view of the experience. But first, we'll try this. We'll go with our table topics, and I'm handing over to our table topics master, Toastmaster Madhav Upadhyay, who will take us through the session. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhav.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srishti, for that wonderful theme. Now, everyone, I welcome you all to table topic session. In this session, I'll be giving you topics on which you'll have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Try to stay on the stage until you see the green card being shown by the timer. It will pop up. She'll be sharing it on the screen, and you have to speak for a maximum of 2 minutes 30 seconds. At 2 minutes, she'll be sharing a red card. So once you see the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, Just try concluding your speech, table topic speech. With that said, I would like to request everyone to please raise your hand to nominate yourself for the table topics. I'll preferably start with someone who is not playing a role and who is a Toastmaster among us, Toastmaster Anshuman.
I knew that was coming. I did not raise my hand, Toastmaster Madhav, but anyhow.
Okay,
Cool.
okay, I'll spotlight you. Okay. Toastmaster Anshuman, describe yourself in terms of food. Describe yourself in terms of food, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Oh my God. Who'll eat me today? Is it going to be Neeraj? Is it going to be Madhav? Is it going to be Praveen? And will they like me? Will the cook prepare me the way I want to be prepared? I want to be delicious. I want to be good looking. But it all depends on the cook. And that's quite unfortunate. I really wish I could prepare myself well. I could dress myself well for my future eater is how will I'll refer to my audience. But I remember the times when I was presented in MasterChef India when Chef Garima Arora really praised how I was looking. I was looking so wonderful, so delicious, and when they tasted me, they were on cloud nine. So definitely, while I may be Shahi Paneer, while I may be naan one day, while I might be biryani, but definitely I love to be a food any and every day. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhav.
Thank you, Anshuman. Thank you for that speech. I was waiting for the name of food to come. That came up pretty late, but yeah, loved it. Thank you. Now let's go with preferably someone who is not playing a role, Ashima. So we would go with Praveen first.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? Okay, you are on video. Do you own a pet, Praveen? Do you have a pet?
No,
Okay,
but I love pets.
you love pet. Okay. Who is the person you hate the most? Who is the person you hate the most?
Oh, okay. Um, so where I was living lastly, so there was the neighbors. I hate the most because they, always stares on us what we are doing, what we are buying new things from the market. They do the same things, and they always they look on us to fight. So that's why we hate those neighbors, and we are kind of the not lucky every time whenever we change the houses, so we never get the good neighbors. So that's our bad luck, seriously. So but now last month we moved into the Greater Noida sector 1, and we got some new neighbors, and they are finally kind of, I can say they are good, because they help us a lot whenever we need them. So yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Praveen. If I were your neighbor, I would never want to fight with you looking at your bicep.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking, Praveen. Now let's go with our counter, Ankit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ankit, what does true friendship mean to you? What does true friendship mean to you, Ankit?
So for me, true friendship means that like a person should be available, or a friend should be available in the bad times, and not necessarily like every time in the good times. So if your friend is with you when you are not having a very good time, and they are there to support you, to guide you, those are the friends that I feel are the good friends or the best friends that I have and I will be having. And and yeah, I think so most of us like have two types of friends. One type of friends are there like who are always there when you are having fun, right? But there are other kind of friends who are always there in your bad times, but they might not be available every time in your good times. But I would say those are my best friends or good friends. Yeah, that's it. Over to you, Mother.
Thank you, Ankit, for speaking. Now let's go to. So can I go with, before taking up Neeraj's turn? Can I go with Mohit? Mohit, would you like to speak?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you own a own a pet, Mohit?
No,
No. Okay. Uh, Mohit, what's your opinion of TikTok and Instagram? What's your opinion of TikTok and Instagram, Mohit?
okay. I think TikTok and Instagram both have plus and minuses. Plus, I will say that yes, it is giving a lot of opportunity to people to grow, to earn, to influence people, to be a social celebrity and create a vibe. So yeah, I think it is a good time pass also for people who are, because I think it's kind of a stress buster as well. Like people who are going through depression or people who are feeling lonely, they can do a quick time pass through that kind of application. But then at the same time, it is also creating and increasing the screen time for people, which is a lot of wastage of time. So like if I talk about myself, uh, I used to be a kind of a loner guy earlier, and then there was these kind of applications where I used to be active, scrolling down, up and down, no time. And then now when I'm looking to focus more on my career and other things, this habit is not going away so soon. So yes, it is somewhere eating up my mind, my space. And yes, somewhere it is not healthy, I'll say, because yeah, I'm not able to concentrate on those things where I should be doing more. But yeah, um, I think it has both positive and negatives on its own. And for people who are earning, who are creating a lot of stuff, content, and entertaining others, so for them, I think it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, thank you. I think you're on mute.
Okay, thank you. I was saying that you covered it pretty well, everything good and bad. So thank you for speaking. Now I would like to go to Neeraj, but do we have someone who would volunteer to time Neeraj?
Yes. Okay, sorry. I thought you were calling for the after Neeraj who will go. So I just
Yeah.
Mail Ankit, if you can.
Yes, I can time you.
Okay, you can probably
Okay.
just probably ping the green, red, and yellow in the chat. That would indicate probably. Okay, so I'm sorry. I closed the window that I had for table topics.
No problem.
Okay, so Neeraj, I'm spotlighting you. Neeraj, what makes you smile? What makes you smile, Neeraj?
Okay, so I think every small thing makes me smile. Like it's very easy for me. I enjoy like in very small things, even going out for a walk. It's if someone cracks PJs, that also makes me smile. So there is like no I wouldn't say I need to go or on foreign trip to make myself happy. I enjoy even if like a potato is my favorite aloo ke parathe is my favorite eating that makes me smile. So I think making me like, even if looking at you is making me smile, being a part of this Toastmasters journey is also making me smile. So it's like I don't have any defined definition of like what like I need to achieve, which can actually makes me smile. So yeah, so when I look people around me, I say hi to them. I enjoy in every little thing. So yeah, means everything I would say makes me smile. Yeah, so whenever I achieve something, so that is like something different that makes me laugh. So yeah, this is it, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you for speaking, and that's wonderful listening to you. Now, I would like to invite, okay, Ashima. Finally, Ashima's turn.
Yes.
Okay. Ashima, what was your favorite childhood toy? What was your favorite childhood toy, Ashima?
Okay. So, my favorite childhood toy. So, I have a very beautiful memory attached to this. So when I was a kid, my grandfather, he used to bring toys for us. He was working with a government department, and he used to visit us once in a month. So when he has to come, we know that, okay, it's a time like he usually comes at 4 a.m. in the morning. So that day I put an alarm at 3 a.m. And I used to wake up and just wait for my Dadaji and standing at the door. It was 3 and my mama and everybody was sleeping. And when they saw ki Ashma she has woken up. So everybody was like, Ashma, please sleep. There's 1 hour left. But I know Dadu is coming. So I was always at time 3 a.m. sharp at 3 a.m. I was at the gate and waiting for Dadu desperately. What he's going to bring for me. So he always brings a beautiful toys for us and for me and my sister. And one day he brought a duck with a string. So when you walk, that duck will follow you. It's kind of a toy. And when you press it, it plays a songs like, I don't remember. There was a song, Hindi song she plays. So I used to put that string, I just tied under my waist, and I used to walk, run, and I do everything dancing. And that ducks, it plays, it sings. So it's like that toy. It actually reminds me about my childhood, and I have lot of memories attached to that toy. And that's something I don't know now where it has gone, but if I would have find it now, I would kept it, framed it, and kept it in my drawing room. So yeah, that duck still reminds me of my Dadu. He's now no more, but yeah, that's a beautiful memory with this toy. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madhav.
Thank you, Ashima. It was wonderful listening your stories of yours with your Dadu and about the toy. Thank you for speaking. Let's go to Deepesh.
My video has been spotlighted, but this makes me nervous.
Okay. Doesn't look like. Okay. Deepesh. What would you like to be famous for? What would you like to be famous for, Deepesh?
A lot of things, lots and lots of things I would love to be famous for. If I say I want to be famous for my intelligence, then my friends, all the folks would argue that you lack one. Okay, but I would love to be the not the smartest, because I can't be the smartest, but somebody who has wisdom, who has lots and lots of wisdom. And the thing about the beauty about wisdom is that it can be acquired with regular practice. Secondly, I want to be known for my charisma. Okay, this is something I think everybody should strive for, although it's a temporary thing, but I should be known for my charisma, because charisma is a good thing, and it's something which I have experienced. you receive a lot of unnecessary attention as well, and that actually makes you feel like a VIP. It makes you feel like a VIP. It makes you feel good. But fame is, let me tell you, although I'm just saying from the perspective of the topic, fame is not something to be chased, because charisma at its peak level, in its ideal level, is stardom. Okay, and a lot of people have lost their stardom, and charisma, stardom, or whatever your fame is all short-lived. It does not make you it does not make you reliable. Okay, in what sense I'm saying is this, because somebody was saying about friends, your charisma, your stardom attracts a lot of people into your life, but when you can't be always charismatic and you can't have always that amount of fame, because there are situations in your life in which you need to rely on people for emotional support and that amount of help, especially in situations like when you are in clinical depression. So in those situations, your fame, your stardom, everything just fades, okay? And the real ones stay in those point of time. So we shouldn't chase for fame anyhow, because we can't base our entire lives on something which is just temporary, okay? But people count. People are permanent. OTU Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Dipesh. Reminds me of many social media stars. I'm not envious of them, but yeah, did remind me of them. Now I would like to go to someone who has a pet, and because I also have a table topic based on pets, so spotlighting you, Sisti. Does your pet judges you? Does your pet judge you, Toastmaster Sisti?
Duster lies on the ground, opens only one eye, and lifts a single eyebrow. He doesn't even bother to open the other eye or lift his head or even look at what I'm doing. He has judged me from the day that I brought him home. He is a no-nonsense dog. He doesn't like any of the things that a Labrador or a Golden Retriever or an Indie would like. No cuddles for him. No pets. Please don't pick him up. He doesn't like being touched unless he decides he wants to. So when I run towards him after a long day at work and I go to hug him, he runs away. And then he goes all the way until I stop following him. And then he looks back, sits down and says, metaphorically in his inner dog voice, girl, no. When I call him, when I try to speak to him in my baby voice, you're my little baby. He gives me the side eye. He says, nope, I'm not your baby. And don't talk to me like that, because I am a respectable German Shepherd and I will not be babied down. Unlike you. You are the most unrespectable, childish, non-self-respecting human. And actually, ever since I got married, he started ignoring me altogether. The only friend he has is Vijay, my husband. And when both of us, after multiple days, come back to my parents' house, Duster ignores my existence. That is how much he judges me. And I hope you don't, Table Topics Master.
Wonderfully spoken, Toastmaster Sisti. And after Mohit's ping in the chat that it reminds him of his ex, like I could imagine everything with Mohit talking about his ex. So that was so funny. But thank you for speaking. Now I would like to hand over the stage back to our table talk Toastmaster of the day. I'm sorry. Over to you, Sisti.
Okay, have you heard of Field of Vision? Basically, when you open your eyes, everything that you can see or everything that is visible to you is field of vision. And when you're looking, no matter where you look, your nose is always in your field of vision. If you don't believe me, check it for yourself. I can see a lot of you doing this. But look straight and just see. Can you see your nose? And the thing is, the nose is always visible. And your brain actively ignores it because it's not useful to know this information. And just like your nose is always present but constantly ignored, we have a lot of past experiences, events, and beliefs which our brain holds on to. We create perceptions based on these beliefs, which affect or influence anything new that we come in contact with. Imagine it like a set of colored lenses, and all the light passing through each of them becomes that color too. As a result, we sometimes judge new things and form a perspective about them based on what is already inside our head. So, the second way that you can change your experience is to unlearn what you already know. If you hate sushi, think about whether it's the taste of sushi that you really don't like, or is it because you heard that it has raw fish and you never even tried it? So every time you have an experience, you need to reflect, why did you have that expectation, or why did you have that experience? What was it in your head that made you experience a particular event or particular stimulus in that way and not in any other way? The act of reflection is of utmost importance in order to grow and improve. It's only when we observe ourselves that we can identify our limitations and improve upon them. Which is why in Toastmasters, we give reflection a special space. I'd now like to call upon our general evaluator to help us reflect and learn. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyani.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. Now is the time we take a moment back and we reflect. What did we do good, or what can we do better? To begin this evaluation session, we will go in these three phases. One, the speech evaluation, then the tag team, as we call them. They will evaluate all of us. How well did we speak? And then I will give my feedback about them as well as the audience in general today in very brief. To invite, can we have our evaluator spotlighted, please? Hi, thank you. So, Sujit, can you please have a quick audio video check once?
Hello, yes. Am I audible?
Hi. You are audible, you are visible. Let's share your observations as evaluation for our prepared speaker today.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Art of listening. It was really an interesting topic for this speech, and the speech was really interesting, and it has humorous touch also. Your speech has mixed content. It has information as well as the stories with clear messages. You told us how we lose our focus by social media and how we can develop this art of listening and can learn to be at present. Transition of the speech was smooth. You started with your experience with your husband when he was saying something and you were thinking of the pizza. This clearly clarifies the importance of listening. So few recommendations from my side. I found that in some places you repeated word 2-3 times. I think this might be due to speed of your speech. So this can be avoided by keep the speed of the speech within limits. I found you touched your nose like this, and also your hand were like this somewhere. So we can avoid this also. So vocal variety can be included in the speech. Actually, this you have, but it was not up to that level. So we can work on that also. Overall, speech was wonderful. It was clear. You were confident on stage, and you are with proper eye contact. Hand gestures were appropriate. Speech was interesting, and audience was interested in listening your speech. With this speech, you fulfilled the purpose of your speech. So good luck for your future speeches. Over to you, General Valid.
Thank you, Surjit, for showing sensitivity while providing this feedback. And those who are joining us for the first time or not a Toastmaster yet, this is how we do it. The purpose is not to make a Barack Obama out of anyone in one day. It is about giving constructive, workable feedback for the immediate next speech. Thank you so much, Surjit. Well done. Let's have our grammarian present her report. Madam Area Director, let's have you on the stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator. May I please request to share my screen?
Please do so.
I'm so sorry about that.
No need, no need. Relax.
All right.
We are among friends.
There you go. So I think we had a wonderful round of session in terms of grammar, a lot of good words, phrases, some thoughts. I'd be sharing them in the next 3 minutes. I'll try to wrap that up. So starting with the words, starting with Timur Srishti, she used the word stimulus, which means something that causes the experience. It's not the experience itself, it is the enabler. So that was a good word for me to learn. Speaker Ashima used bombarded, something when you give too much information to somebody that's difficult for them to grasp. So you use bombard. Table topic speaker Anshuman used delicious. He used multiple adjectives to describe his situation, which was very nice. When these are the kind of words you can, like, they are synonyms. They can describe what delicious means. You can try to incorporate them in your vocabulary as well. Dipesh used charisma, which is a powerful personality quality. Going on to some phrases, Srishti used deceptively simple. Put on a cape of a superhero, which is, so these are all phrases that were very nice to just hear. Mohit used scrolling in, up and down while describing his experience on TikTok and Instagram. And Srishti used, he is a no-nonsense dog. So very nice way of forming your sentences. Abbreviations, I only noted one. I know it's a very common one, PJs. And for those who do not know the full form, it's for poor jokes. And it is very commonly used amongst everybody. Mostly people use this. So just to make it inclusive, it's poor jokes. Word of the day was only used once by our general evaluator, Anand. So kudos to you for that. I noted some of the pronunciations, some for the words that are very common and some things that I would like to share as a grammarian. So a word question, at times we tend to say question or like the O sound. I think if you focus on the UE, question, that's how it's pronounced. So question is the right pronunciation. A lot of W versus V pronunciation swap I noticed throughout the session, wherein I'll try to explain it in a simple way. A W sound is more rounded, like wa, and not va with your teeth. Whenever there's a V, it's supposed to be with your teeth, when more. Whereas when it's W, it's supposed to be more rounded, like well, will, what. Maybe you can read more about this. It's very clear if you make a difference between V and W, like violin or where. So W and V are some pronunciation that we can learn more about. Potato, potato. This is also a very complicated pronunciation. At times we tend to pronounce it wrong. So it's potato. There is no potato or potato. Government, again, government or government. And husband. So there is no A between B, A, and D. It's not husband. I know English is a very tricky language. It's just common words that we all use in our day-to-day lives. So just some pronunciation. Moving on to the opportunities. Are you listening me versus there was we can say, are you listening to me? So we should always add like a to between these kind of sentences. I'm not that great. Things doesn't go well. If you're speaking in the past, so doesn't should be replaced with didn't. Into the, if you're, so again, this was more of a versus the situation. If you're speaking about something in general, like, have you ever been in a conversation? So it should be in a conversation and not in the conversation, because we don't know, the conversation is not specific, it's more generalized. I didn't said that, I didn't knew that. So don't use to past in the past form. It should be I didn't say that if you're using it with didn't. Again, paying an attention versus pay attention. And feedback, I think this is one of the most common mistake that I also used to make earlier. It's never feedbacks. Feedbacks is not a word. Feedback. This is plural, singular, in any form. You always just use feedback. You never use feedbacks. Feedbacks is not a word. That, again, concluding my report with some really beautiful thoughts that came across throughout the session. Srishti used events are not good or bad. It's about how we feel that defines the experience. To be a good listener, learn to be present in the moment. Active listening can make or break relationships. Friends who are available for both good and bad times are your true friends. So I think a friend in need is a friend indeed. Dipesh said, try not to be the smartest, but wise, because wisdom is something you can acquire. Don't chase fame. It is not permanent. And Srishti just made me realize that our nose is always visible. It just ignored, just as our past experiences. So very well done in these thoughts and lessons. With this, I hand it back to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you so much, Urfia, for that grammar lesson. A couple of additions that I feel are necessary, we should add them up to our vocab in addition to your report, are the words like contact. I think some of us were mispronouncing the word contact and content. So content is matter, content is satisfied. That's a very common mistake. We have been habitually making it repetitively. We also made mistakes like contact instead of contact. There was, I think, one word gesture. It has been umpteenth time we have been calling it gesture. So when it is GELGEM GEST, it's always J sound, not girl wala sound. So it has to be gesture, jest, gel, gem, basic things like that. Thank you so much, Urfia, for taking us down that road today, an often ignored one. I loved your reporting format as well, by the way. That's what experience counts for. Moving now to our debutants. No pressure, people. Relax, smile, perform. Our counter, let's have you first on the stage. Ankit, all the very best.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm effusive about this opportunity to present my counter report. So here is my report. So starting with the sergeant at the arms, Anshuman, he used 3 times Then our TMOD, Srishti, she used so basically 1 time and separately so 1 time and 1 time. And then our first speaker, Ashima, she used 5+ times, so 5+ times. She used once like and also she used like 3 times, and she used 1 time. That's for the speaker Ashima. And then for evaluator Sujit, he used more than 5 times. Then going into the table topics, our table topic master Madhav, he used 5+ times while giving the topics to the people. And then going into the table topics speeches, Anshuman, kudos to you. Everything was perfect based from the filler words perspective. Then Praveen used more than 5 times and so 3 times. Then Mohit, you used, I think, 1 time, okay 1 time, and 1 time. And then Neeraj, you used 1 time, 1 time, I like 1 time, and another just a feedback. You used couple of words twice, like that, it's, what, I. And then Ashima, you use so 5 times, 1 time, 5 times. And Dipesh, you used 1 time, and okay 1 time. And Srishti, you were perfect in your table topic speech. So kudos to you. Yeah, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Ankit. I think for a debutant, that report calls for a massive round of applause. It really becomes tricky when we are enjoying the content being presented to take down all these teeny tiny bits of notes. But thank you so much for your observational powers. Let's see how the Wi-Fi fares today. Neeraj.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. I'm going to share my report. Okay, so I'll start with the speeches. So Ashima took 6 minutes 35 seconds. Then comes table topics. Anshuman took 1 minute 12 seconds. Praveen took 1 minute 19 seconds. Ankit took 1 minute 7 seconds. Mohit took 1 minute 30 seconds. Ashima took 2 minutes. Dipesh took 2 minutes 17 seconds. Shrishti took 2 minutes 16 seconds. And then comes the evaluator. Surijit took 1 minute 57 seconds. I think this is it. Yeah. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Everyone was in the time. So kudos to you all.
Thank you so much, Neeraj. This reporting format gives me joy to see that our mentoring team is working very hard already, that our first time role players are not even giving me any scope for suggesting an area of improvement. To be honest, from tech team side, I have nothing to suggest. You did perfectly well.
Yes.
If at all, after this poll, I will suggest something for grammarian only, if not for anyone else. And that thing will be, Madam Grammarian, if only you could have shared the word in between as well, we would have spoken it more. That's all. And I think that's a perfect display of how tech team is supposed to play. Quickly moving on to my feedback, and I'll in a single sweep for all the table topic speakers today. First, I think the timing itself shows that we're comfortable on stage. We did not run away within for 60 seconds. We did not overstay beyond 2 minutes 30 seconds as well. I think today is one of those days where we are seeing that it's all going effortless, but perhaps it is the effort of the weeks gone by in between that has led us to this particular stage today. I am impressed by, in particular, a few guests or very young members who are leading the charge these days. The speakers who spoke as guests today, it didn't look like they were guests. They spoke like long-time speakers. And that is I think the effect of what others see and how that gives a confidence to the people coming up afterwards. Very mindful on the part of table topic master as well to not let this twist in the tail in the theme of the topics ruin it for everyone. Very strategically pulled up, and I think there was some kind of match fixing beforehand before calling the first speaker up. So that is very smart on his part to manage all that while managing the meeting polls in the back end. Mind you, he was managing polls in the back end. He was the one who was spotlighting everyone as well. So I think he has become the pro, the master at it. Srishti, Urpia and Surjit, I request you all to loop in Madhav in as many opportunities as possible at district level now for tech master as well as contest support whenever he can afford to do it. And I think if not himself, then he will be a good mentor. Including Anshuman and Madhav, we have two good mentors within this club now, because I have seen them leaving their footprints among the new members now. one key person that we are missing today, who can also be a good role player as well as a support system. Because of her, we are seeing a huge growth in the club, is our Vice President of Membership, Priyanka Mishra. So let us take a moment to acknowledge it for her as well. And finally, the Toastmaster of the day today. I find you practically tick every box, but the biggest thing that ticks for me is that you don't reveal what your theme is. We have some idea that what's going to be, but you don't directly lay it out for us. You keep a sense of suspense. You keep it hanging in the air. By the word perception, we understood what it may lead to. In fact, as your introducer, I did not know what exactly you might get into, and you did not disappoint. So that sense of there is something more coming up, keep it up. That really keeps the audience engaged. You are one person who knows how to keep people engaged for a long session, and that is a skill that I think, as not as members now, but presenters and trainers and teachers tomorrow, senior management tomorrow, for which we are practicing today, we all need to imbibe and learn. Meeting started sharp at 7, and our Sergeant at Arms did it impeccably. Then he handed over to me, and I did the best I could to engage everyone and welcome everyone. And afterwards, it was all your show, Srishti. So if at all there is a credit in today's meeting, it goes to the two superstars of the club, Srishti and Mother, for being the two super strong pillars of the club. Acknowledging in front of everyone that as general evaluator, I did not have to do anything in following up with any role players, bringing them in the meeting, etc. They all came by their own pulls, whether by themselves or by their mentors, or by just simple follow-up in the messages in the WhatsApp groups by our president himself. So I think we are in a good shape. Let's keep it up. Do not have much to add over here in terms of quality. We are almost there, above 90% of quality, if I must dare say so. Out of 100%, we are nearly there, being one of the best clubs. Numbers are pulling up, and I think we now can look towards future where we can spread it forward. With that hope, I hand over back now to the Toastmaster of the day to allow her bring her meeting theme to a close.
Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to summarize everything that I told you today. First being that the experience is not what happens. Experience is how your brain interprets whatever happened. And there are two ways in which you can actually change how you experience things. The first is learning. So learn more things, experience more different, like experience different things, and expose yourself to new stimulus. And the second is unlearning. Critically question what you believe in, what are your perceptions and what are the lenses that you look through, and try to unlearn things that are not helping you grow. So that's my time for today, and that is what I had to share with you. Thank you so much, all of you, for your sustained patience. And I'm going to now call back our presiding officer. Over to you, Toastmaster. Who is it? Anant again.
Thanks, Srishti. I will also not overstay my welcome over here. I think we have already talked from our point of view, what went good, what could have gone better. And here is one final moment where we can acknowledge for this particular role as well. Among these three, who is your most favorite role player today? Let's acknowledge by a simple voting. Meanwhile, let me now take honest and candid feedback from our audience members. Let's start with Mohit Jain. Mohit, how was your experience today?
Yeah, I think it was a wonderful experience again. So in this particular group, this was my second session. I joined last week also. Until date, I have attended 3 Toastmaster Club classes or sessions, whatever you call it. But yeah, it is, I think, quite an engaging group, and loving the experience. would like to join more, and then of course will like to be the part of Toastmaster team as well someday. So yeah,
Looking
thank you
forward for
guys.
the same. Looking forward for the same,
Same.
Mohit. In fact, we are open to our membership. Do take your time. Do attend us a couple of more times if needed. When you make up your mind, we will be at your service. Do let us know. How can we help you
Of course.
explain the membership process and all? We
Sure.
already
Thank you.
have 5 new members this month, acknowledging again the effort of Ankit and Neeraj and a couple of others. Thank you so much for taking up the role and leading the way and impressing the guests who are coming, who are taking some solace from strength from what you have displayed today. Mohit, after that kind feedback of yours, let me move to who is the guest remaining in the group. I think we'll take it from Ashima then. She is from a sister club, Blue Quest, in the same division. Ashima, how was your experience today, since you're not taking any role?
Yeah, it's always amazing to be to join the meeting, and it's I feel that in this club everyone is growing and everybody is learning on each passing meeting. So it's it's good to see the enthusiasm of people, and I really enjoy attending the meetings, and I'm looking forward for the TMOD role for the next meeting. Thank you.
Next meeting?
Yes.
Sure, lock kar diya jaye.
Yes, please lock it.
Okay, Madhav, please do take note. We will make it available for her. One final meeting of the financial year. We have Praveen Vidalia, who has been sitting very encouragingly, I must say, as an audience member. It's very human to just sit with video off, or if at all with video on, then do this thing and that thing. But he has been tacitly, passively giving encouragement to the speakers on stage. So Praveen, thank you for that. And how has been your experience so far today?
So it was great experience. It is my second day with all of you. So what I learned is when I joined lastly, so I was talking on, I think 1 minute. Now it's, I think 1 minute 20 seconds around.
Great.
So I can see the improvement, but yeah, it's a great platform where I can improve myself, and I can remove my hesitation. So thank you for that.
So Praveen, इसी बात पे एक selfie हो जाए सबके साथ. I'm sure Madhav must have taken some in between, but let's take a quick selfie, everyone. And Madhav, do help us with a selfie. Everyone, let's switch the video on. Anshuman. Anshuman, we will have to, copy paste some other photo instead of this blog then. So it's your risk. Let's have an emoticon, a heart symbol or something like that up as well.
Okay, so I'm taking it. I cannot see emoji from. Okay, here we go. Got it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And अंशुमन का फोटो हम कुछ भी लगाएंगे उसके लिए हम जिम्मेदार नहीं है. Okay.
Thanks, Anand.
I think at this point I will invite our club president. I'm just the presiding officer and vice president of education. Our club president to announce the result of voting today. Madhav.
Thank you, Anand. Now I would like to. We have had 3 polls today, starting with the best auxiliary role players. It goes to someone who is not in the room anymore, but she is a veteran one, Toastmaster Ulfia. But I must say the other 2 role players also did pretty well. So congratulations to everyone here, all the auxiliary role players. Going to the best table topic speaker, it goes to our Toastmaster of the day as well. Toastmaster Steve, best table topic speaker. And the final result for best role player, I was quite shocked looking at it, but it is a tie between me and Sisti. So congratulations to both of us. Wasn't expecting it at all, considering charisma or okay, shaking hands. Considering charisma of Toastmaster Sisti, but yeah, congratulations Sisti and to me as well. with that said, I think I can stop the recording and